Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Kurt Cobain had a great impact on the music industry. He had it all: punk attitude, a sound and style of Seattle's underground hardcore movement, and a flair for producing iconic pop songs. Behind the grunge frenzy was a talented guitarist who was instrumental for repopularizing Fender guitars among a new generation of 90s rock bands. Welcome to our YouTube channel, and in this video, you will get to know what was inside Kurt Cobain's luxury guitar collection and more. Number 8. Fender Jaguar, 1965. Kurt was largely playing Stratocasters at the time Nevermind came out, the most prominent of which being a black one with a sticker saying Vandalism. He played a 1965 Fender Jaguar on the Record Tour, which is the guitar that most people connect with Kurt. He also bought a 1969 Fender Competition Mustang around the same period, which he memorably featured in Smells Like Teen Spirit music video. Number 7. Martin D18E, 1950s. Kurt's most well-known acoustic guitar is a 1950s Martin D18E, which he used at the Unplugged on MTV show. Kurt Cobain's custom electrified Martin D18E, which he played at the legendary November 1993 MTV Unplugged session and in subsequent gigs until soon before his death, has recently sold for $6 million in Beverly Hills. It was heartening proof that, pandemic or no pandemic, highly coveted collectibles may still fetch good money. Number 6. Who to get his famous guitar from? Another substantial spoonful of good news comes with the guitar auction. The famous guitar was purchased by Peter Friedman, the ambitious creator of Rode microphones, whose family company started with a tiny instrument store in Sydney, Australia, in the 1960s. He intends to take the guitar on a worldwide tour to raise money for the performing arts. The D18E was constructed in small numbers, about 302 in all. The seventh, Cobain's, was constructed in 1959. He had a Bartoloni pickup installed in it. Friedman told the press about his generosity in this beautifully honest way. "It's a big deal. I didn't even buy it for me. I paid for it, but I'm going to use it to highlight the plight of artists worldwide by touring it around, and then I'm going to sell it and use the dough for that as well later." Number 5. Skystang 3. This guitar was one of 10 that the Generation X star had bought for the tour. However, only 6 had arrived by the time he died in April 1994. The left-hander has a sky blue body with a red speckled pickguard, and it was manufactured by Scott Zimmerman, who also built the necks for Cobain's first 2 Jagstangs, a combination of the Fender Jaguar and Mustang owned by the musician. The guitar was given the name Skystang 3 and was fitted with a black Seymour Duncan JB pickup and a Gotoh Tune-o-matic bridge. Number 4. Beautiful story behind the Skystang 3. According to Julian's, Cobain's widow, Courtney Love, gave Stang 3 to a fan, noting in an accompanying letter that this was one of his favorite guitars. It was then shown in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where a fan stole 2 of the original knobs, which were later replaced by the museum. The guitar comes with Love's letter and the original case with its name written across it. But it isn't the only piece of Cobain memorabilia up for sale at the auction house. The musician's ragged green sweater, which he wore during the band's historic MTV Unplugged performance, is also up for sale. The sweater, which hasn't been cleaned since November 1993, sold for $137,500 in 2015. Number 3. Univox. Univox was formed through the merger of numerous Japanese guitar companies, though most of the firms produced low knockoff equipment. After they merged to establish Univox, they developed their own distinct brand. The High Flyer was their first and most popular instrument, and it went through 4 different iterations until being phased out in 1997. It had become a cult classic by the time Cobain picked one up in the late 1980s. Number 2. How is it made? Unlike big companies like Gibson or Fender, Univox's production process was chaotic. Because the instruments were not standardized, it was difficult to determine the precise design specifications. The High Flyers all featured a wavy sunburst body, and most of the differences were in the headstock and bridge. They all had 2 pickups and a tremolo system. Cobain was drawn to these guitars early in his career, because they each had their own distinct taste. Number 1. If you missed his guitar auctions. While bidding on Cobain's actual guitar and sweater is exciting, it's not the only memento linked to the grunge rocker up for grabs right now. Realtors Ewing and Clark are also selling the Seattle property he and Love bought just before his death. The two musicians purchased the Queen Anne-style home in the city's Denny Blaine district in 1994. The 8,212 square foot mansion includes 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and has been completely restored 25 years after Cobain committed suicide, with the greenhouse where he committed suicide demolished. The property is listed for $7,500,000 and has views of both Lake Washington and the Cascade Mountains. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.